What's up everyone, Nima here, and I want to talk about this amazing game that I picked up on the Nintendo Switch this weekend. It just released on February 10th, but it has been out for the PC for about a year or so. Anyway, the game's called Ocean's Heart, and I definitely want to talk about it. But before we get into that, I want to remind everyone to please like and subscribe. All new subscribers will get access to my online diary where I go through my whole collection of stamps. I'm just kidding, I don't have a collection of stamps. I'm not cool enough. Anyway, Ocean's Heart is almost like a perfect game for me. I'm going to come out and just say already that I love this game. It was one of those games that I sat down to play and it seemed like time just became irrelevant. It was 4, 5, 6 hours in before I realized I hadn't stopped playing and I needed to go to bed. That's how much this game really just engulfed me into the world that it was, as well as it pushes you forward. Now, see, in this game, you play as Tilia. You are the daughter of a tavern owner and Navy volunteer. And your father's trying to train you so you can volunteer for the Navy, and so your older sister can take over the tavern when he's not able to do those two things. And while you're out on one of your missions, your town and the tavern are attacked. And along with that, your best friend is missing. Your father, being the hero that he is, decides that he's going to find these bad guys. And the only thing they really have to go on is that they are pirates that don the flag with an hourglass on it. You and your sister patiently wait for your father and your best friend Hazel to return. But after about 6 months, you decide you've waited long enough and it's time to go track them down. To go rescue maybe your dad, your best friend, beat some pirates, or who knows what. And the story then unfolds into this just wondrous action-adventure with plenty of dungeon crawling, combat, puzzle solving, all of those tropes that we love in action-adventure games. Very much like a top-down Zelda-like game. In fact, Max Mraz, the developer of it, is a huge Zelda fan, and it more than shows. And I think that the wonderful thing about what Max has created here is it's not a way to just make money off that market. He created his own game within that world where we understand some of the tropes. We understand some of the winks and the nods, but it's still his own, and it's its own like amazing adventure that we get to explore. I absolutely adore this game. The one thing that makes this notably Max's creation is the fact that a lot of the enemies and the environment themselves are really creepy. Like, there are some legitimate, like, kind of freaky looking bosses and maybe mini bosses. There's these creatures that have like a skull head with like the antlers coming out of them. It's really weird. But that's kind of the thing that you don't always get in these kind of games. But you definitely have that. Like, the environments and the biomes themselves, they are relatively similar, but also very different at the same time. Meaning you can go to farmland to like more of an ocean side, and then of course like the crypts and the creepy aspects of the game. And one other thing I really do like about the game too is while you're going through, you'll find so many secrets and so many ways to expand and grow your character, whether it be to gain extra hearts or you can find like coral that will make your sword or bow sharper once you take it back to a blacksmith and have him work on it. You also find pieces of armor throughout the game. There's just a ton of building on and making your character stronger. When you first start the game, you're actually, at least for me, I died quite a bit. And even though the game is very laxed, it doesn't really punish you for dying. It kept me going, but I was thinking, God, this game is really pretty difficult. But after a while, I grew, I got better weapons, I got better equipment, and more life. It definitely seemed to go quite a bit easier. But like I said, this game is without a doubt like that perfect love letter to the old school action RPG games. And I think he did an amazing job. Now, that's not to say there aren't just a few hiccups with it that did bother me. For instance, as I talked about the crypt. So, and I want to say this is about 70% through the game, in about that range. You go into this crypt, and it's the only way to progress further in the story. You're trying to get to one of the pirates' hideout. And in this crypt, there is just so much lag. A lot of lag, a lot of stuttering. What I found even more kind of unnerving was the fact that, like, my character would move kind of at a snail's pace, and then they would go really, really quick. I don't know what that was, and I don't know, maybe that was actually part of the game. I don't know. That's something I'm going to have to check out and find out why it did that. But it was, like, almost unsettling to play that part. Luckily it goes pretty quick, but it did kind of suck, because, like, that's the area that you get the bow, which is where you open a lot more stuff up after you have the bow. And so just that part was, like I said, it was pretty, I don't know. It was unsettling just how much it stuttered and stuff. And there is that throughout the game. There is, like, some stuttering issues, a little bit of, like, screen tearing, if you will. I don't even know if that's the proper term for screen tearing, but there is something on the edges, you can tell. But none of that takes away from how great this game really is and how much love you can see is put into it. Like, one of the things I mentioned before about how this game pushes you forward is that there are a multitude of different puzzles, but none of the puzzles are, like, too difficult. And if you understand The Legend of Zelda and that kind of lore with puzzles, you'll figure it out pretty easily. But at the same time, there's so many of them, and there's so much to explore. There's so many little mini bosses and so many chests to open up and so many things to find that you just keep playing this game, exploring further, finding more and more stuff, to the point where, like, this is one of those games I will easily 100%. And I don't do that with many games, so it has to tell you how great it is. Not to mention, I really do enjoy the music, the sound effects. All of those things tie in this game to be just an amazing experience. For the low price, too, of $14.99 for the Nintendo Switch. If you ask me, there isn't a better Nintendo Switch game out right now. Not in the month of February, anyway. I've really enjoyed it. I hope everyone gives it a shot, picks it up, especially if you're into that style of game. But even if not, I think everyone could find something that they would really, really enjoy with this game. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on Ocean's Heart. Hope you pick it up. Let me know if you've thought about it, if you heard about it, if you're interested, or any of your thoughts on Ocean's Heart or any other games. Anyway, guys, take care. Bye-bye.